Hello there, welcome back to the Friday Club, and another treat for you tonight. Martin Dwyer and myself absolutely delighted to have Aidan O'Brien join us. Aidan, thanks for your time.
Oh, pleasure.
How are you doing? Are you all right?
Very good, thank you.
And we're looking forward to chatting lots of things this evening. Obviously, we'll be a little eye on the Breeders' Cup and your travels. But I must first get your reaction to the excellent performance of Auguste Rodin in last week's Group 1 at Doncaster. A real special story, I suppose. Rhododendron won the Lock-Inge for you, first foal, and then obviously Deep Impact, his last crop. So really one of a kind already.
Yeah, absolutely. We were delighted with him. He was obviously always considered a very special horse before he came here, and he's just one of those horses that did everything absolutely perfect all the way along. I suppose we started him earlier than we probably would have intended, but he just came early, and we gave him a break after his second run, and then he went to Leopardstown after a long break, and we were delighted with him there, and obviously we were delighted with him in Doncaster. We kind of originally had said that we wouldn't run him on heavy ground. So when Ryan rode in the first race, he didn't think it was heavy. He thought it was soft and tacky, but he didn't think it was heavy. So when we looked at it, we kind of thought a little bit like that as well. So no, we're delighted with him, really, Rachel.
Aidan, how's he come out of that race? Because I know you, like you said, you were a bit concerned about it being heavy, and it was a bit of the commentator described it as a gritty success. It was a emphatic win, but has he come out of the race okay?
Yeah, no, very good, Martin. We were everything was very good with him after. He was very, very fresh in himself. Obviously Rachel rides him every day at home, and she was very happy with him. He was he bounced out of it, really, Martin.
And Aidan, you know we've got the terrible twins at Dundalk, Kevin O'Ryan and Fran Berry. They're pretty keen to get in on the chat, and I know Fran has a few horses he wants to ask you about as well. So I think we'll bring in the team at Dundalk, and over to you, Fran.
Yeah, okay, Houston. Aidan, good evening. Yeah, we're just talking here, myself and Kevin, about your 2-year-olds this year. It's been a great year, obviously, them speaking about Auguste Rodin. Unfortunately, Blackbeard retired. That's a shame after his exploits this season.
Yeah, absolutely, Fran. It was a big pity. Obviously, he was getting ready for the breeders, and he was doing all his work, and obviously he was a little bit off after his canter on Monday, and obviously when those things happened, they're scanned and x-rayed, and he had a chip in his knee. So obviously you couldn't chance him then after that, but he was a credible horse, really. He was fast, precocious, tough. He had kind of everything, really, Fran.
Yeah, he was a fantastic horse, Aidan, and that trait of his at the start, the way he used to rear up and mess about, is quite unique, and something we haven't seen much of before, particularly of a horse at that calibre.
Yeah, absolutely. We always try get the horses to develop a personality, and like obviously he developed a massive one. He's always very forward going. He didn't have much patience. I suppose that was his weak link. He hated waiting behind the stalls. He hated waiting to do anything. And if you see him even at the stalls, the minute you turn him and point him at the stalls, he'd run in and he just wanted to get on with it, really. We never reprimanded him much for it. We always went with him, because obviously he was a little bit like that in his work at home. If he was waiting too long, he would start stamping the ground, So we were always very happy to go along with him. Like obviously we wouldn't put him at the bottom of the work schedule of a morning. We let him go work early and go. But it's a great genuine trait he had, really. It's like it's always forward motion, and he wanted to get on with everything, really, all the time.
And Ed, most importantly, the big engine. Takes a very good 2-year-old to win 2 Group 1s. He was kept busy, but he was very tough, very consistent, and obviously the big engine.
Yeah, he was a massive engine, Kevin. Obviously, he started early in Dundalk, and he always had a lot of speed. He was always very relaxed. When he'd set off on his half speed, he would relax into it straight away. So he had a great mind that way. But always quickened very well. Ideally, he always probably was better with a fast run race, and he wouldn't have to make his running. But some of the times he had to, because he would be there, and there wouldn't be anything leading him. But I think the last time in the Middle Park, where they went a real good fast gallop, we kind of really saw what he was able to do. He was an amazing horse, really, Kevin.
And Aidan, Little Big Bear, update on him. he's obviously another really one of your so many exciting 2-year-old courses to look forward to going from 2 to 3 next year.
Yeah, no, he's good, Kevin. He's back in light exercise, and that's what he will do through the winter. But we're very happy with him. He was a massive, big, powerful horse. But the same thing, a lot of speed. He was a great traveller. And he's a great mind as well. He cruised along there without taking anything out of himself. And when you ask him to quicken, like, he was really able to quicken, you know. So we think he's going to be hopefully an exciting horse to look forward to next year.
And
how do you see him at a mile next season, Aidan, or what are your thoughts? He's obviously very strong at the furlong pole in the Phoenix Stakes.
Yeah, and Ryan said, Fran, in the Phoenix, he said, like, he'd get another furlong on his ear. That's when we were going to go to the National Stakes. And usually if they get a mile strong, or get 7 strong, like, you'll have no problem. But he definitely looked like a horse in the Hines that would have no problem getting 7. And then obviously the Guineas will tell us a lot more. But he's very relaxed. He cruises, and none and ever is a big influence for speed, but on the dam side there's plenty stamina, so we think and hope that there's a very good chance.
Okay, Aidan, moving on to the Breeders' Cup, back to Keeneland. You've had 13 Breeders' Cup winners so far. Keeneland has been a lucky hunting ground for you as well, of course. Found that was a brilliant performance when she won there a couple of years ago as well, and you've had a bit of success there in Keeneland.
Yeah, no, it's I suppose the climate suits the European horse. The track it's very straightforward track, and it can get rain, so the ground is not always too quick. Obviously we've been lucky there. Order of Australia won the mile there as well, and no, we're looking forward to it. I think the climate when we go to Keeneland this time of the year is very similar to our climate, really.
Hit it at a bomb, of course, as a winner of the juvenile turf there at Keeneland a couple of years ago as well. Order of Australia, he goes back, Aidan.
He goes back for the mile, Kevin. We're very happy with him. He's been slowly building and progressing all year, and we're very happy with the progress and where he is at the moment. He worked this morning, and Wayne was over the moon with him, so we're looking forward to it.
And mediate then in the juvenile fillies turf.
Yes, yeah, she's very well. She's another very hardy, consistent professional filly. Obviously, it's going a mile for the first time, so that will be interesting. She settles very well. When she gets there, she's lazy and she's happy to wait on horses. So she did it a little bit in the Cheveley Park. She did it at the Curragh. But she's you can ride her very forward. So we're thinking of maybe running her in cheek pieces this time, just to help her a little bit when she gets there. She's lovely minded filly, but just waits a little bit when she gets there.
Exciting filly, Aidan, and of the older brigade, Tuesday, of course, won the Epsom Oaks, beating Emily Upjohn and that great finish. Thought she ran really well in France when last seen.
Yes, yeah, and absolutely, we gave her a little break after, I think, the Irish Derby, and we gave her time to come back, and her training and everything has slowly been building, and her work program this time is probably harder and better than it has been all year, really. We were very conscious that she was a very young filly, and when she won the Oaks, she was only just barely 3, I think. So we gave her time, but since the last day now, her work regime has built strong and hard, and she has taken it all on the chin, and we think that she's in a very good place at the moment.
And Aidan, the Breeders' Cup turf, Broome, he's been around a long time. What a servant he is. He won another Group 1 for the Hardwick Stakes, giving you, I think, your 900 group and graded winner at Royal Ascot this season. He and Stone Age, looks like both of those are going to run in the Breeders' Cup turf.
Yes, that's the plan, Kevin. Obviously, he's very straightforward, honest horse as well. We were very happy with him since his last run. He ran a massive race in the Breeders' Cup turf last year. He was just caught on the line. He's very well, and we will be happy going there with Stone Age as well. So Broome obviously will be, usually is ridden forward if he comes out, and Stone Age will be handy as well. So we think that two of them in the race will work good for both of them. We're very happy with Stone Age as well. Very happy since his run in Ascot. We were very happy with that run. We thought that he ran very well, and he was really coming home well. Even though the first few passed him, he wasn't finished at the line, we thought.
And the ground, Aidan, that day probably wasn't to his liking as well. He has been to America. He finished third in I think at the Belmont Invitational. He wasn't beaten that far early on this season.
No, absolutely, and I suppose he's versatile. He handles all types of ground. He handled the ground in Ascot, and he has very good form on fast ground. I suppose good ground over a mile and a half will not be a disadvantage to him, because he's kind of nearly very comfortable at a mile and a quarter as well. So, and he has a good high cruise. So, I think around Keeneland, around the bends, might suit him as well going that trip.
And then just on the Breeders' Cup, of course, totally different setup with the configuration of tracks, short runs to the bends. How do you approach the preparation for the horse with the starting stalls? Obviously, no matter what distance you're running at, you've only a furlong, perhaps the most, to get to the bend and get that position.
Yeah, sure. Like, obviously, Fran, nobody knows better than yourself. A position is vital, really. Like, obviously, we do all that starting stalls work. We kind of do it from day one now, with the view to all the horses will end up in America. So we do a lot of work with that. TJ and Niall and John and Seamus and John, everybody, they put a lot into that. So the horses we kind of teach them to jump and go forward early anyway. But going to America, they have to be extra sharp, and we just do another extra little bit with them. Listen, they can't miss a beat there, and they have to hit the gates, and they have to get a position, because if you're anyway slow, your position will be taken, and then you're on the back foot straight away, really.
And Aidan, obviously Rocket Gibraltar sadly passing away this year at, I think, 23 years of age. He was an unbelievable horse for you. 7 consecutive Group 1s in his career, including the Irish and English Guineas, of course, bred by yourself, Anne-Marie, and your late father-in-law, Joe Crowley, as well. He was such a horse, wasn't he? He equalled Mill Reef's long-standing record of 7 Group 1s consecutively.
Yeah, amazing horse, Kevin. Absolutely, he was wasn't a big horse. He was strong. He was fast. He was very comfortable at. He loved to wait. Didn't want to be in front too long. But he had an unbelievable turn of foot. He, like I say, he wasn't a big horse. So I think Mick and Johnny and the lads, when they used to ride him, they used to love riding him, because listen, I suppose he was easy to manoeuvre, but Mick won, I think the last 6 on him, so he used to ride him brilliant, really. But he was an amazing horse, Kevin, absolutely.
And then on the Breeders' Cup, my favourite memory came up on Twitter yesterday. High Chaparral dead heat with Johar on that occasion at Santa Anita. That was quite a season for him to come back as a 4-year-old. I remember Mick Cannan saying he thought he may well have been gone mid-season, but you got him back to near his best to win on that occasion.
Yeah, he was another very tough horse. Wasn't a big horse either. He had great will to win. He was very happy at a mile and a quarter. He didn't want to be in front too long either. Mick gave him an unbelievable ride that day. I remember looking at it coming off the back straight. We thought he was in trouble, but Mick forced him up and obviously dead heated on the line. Like, it was incredible, really.
It was a great horse, Aidan. And Aidan, just a left field question. High Definition was sold this week. He's going to go to Joseph, it would appear, to go jumping. Bit of a left field move for him. He was quite a good horse. He nearly got to win the Tattersall's Gold Cup this year.
Yeah, very good horse, Kevin. We didn't see the best of him at all. For some reason, we just could never get him where we wanted him. And maybe it was he was a very big horse, and maybe he was a little bit weak all the time. And we kind of threw him in at the deep end a few times, and especially the Tattersall's Gold Cup, Ryan gave him a great ride. He went hard all the way, and he nearly held on. So always them little things might have set him back through the season. But that's the way we discussed about riding him, and maybe he wasn't ready for it at the time or whatever, but we think there's a lot in there still, so it will be interesting. We can't wait to see when he jumps the hurdle. He's a big, rangy, good-looking, clear-winded horse, so anything could happen with him. It could be very exciting, and we're really looking forward to see what he does when Joseph does jump a hurdle with him.
And Aidan, of course, they're all the good days, and sometimes you do get beaten a couple of occasions. One that maybe got away was back in the Oaks and Epsom, of course. Peeping Fawn, a little bit unlucky on that occasion to be second, was she?
Yeah, I think Martin gave her a great ride that day. She was, I think it was her first time going up in trip, really. I think she only ran over a mile before this. And so obviously, we weren't sure about getting the trip, and I would have said to Martin to take his time on her. And after that, he came in and he said, "Listen, there's no doubt about the trip. She's going to get the trip very well." So No, she's she turned out to be an amazing filly, really.
She was multiple Group 1 after that, and of course ridden by none other than Martin Dwyer on that occasion.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Listen, obviously she hadn't ran any further than a mile before that, and there's no way could you be sure that she would even get a mile and a quarter, let alone a mile and a half. But I remember he came in and he said there was no doubt, and so I think we went back to the Pretty Polly after that, and the rest was history then, really. But she loved to be ridden a little bit patiently, and we learnt it all that day.
Well, Aidan is an absolute gentleman, and we know that. Marty said you gave her a brilliant ride.
Yeah, thank you, Aidan. I'm glad you stuck up for me there, because the lads have been giving me stick ever since. She was unbeaten in 4 Group 1s after that, but thank you for that, Aidan. That was a really nice, especially to them two idiots trackside.
You told us how to ride her, Martin, so thanks very much.
Well, if you need me again, Aidan, I'm always on the end of the phone.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, Aidan, I got to ask you. We had Frankie Dettori on earlier in the programme where he was talking about the top 5 riders that he's ridden against. I mean, it's stretched through many decades. You've had some seriously good riders, the best in the business. I got to ask you about Ryan. You've had some great days over the years. Very special guy. How much do you love having him on your team?
No, Ryan is we're obviously very lucky and privileged to have him. He's like you said, an absolute gentleman. He's very professional. He's the total professional, right, in every way. The way he rides, the way he conducts himself, the way he lives, and everything about him. His knowledge, his strength, his total commitment and dedication. He's incredible, really. I don't think anybody really realises how dedicated and how committed he is, and what a great rider he is. When Ryan comes over here, he stays with us, and before I'd meet him in the kitchen in the morning to have breakfast, he'd usually be after running 5 or 6 or 10 miles, and that's every morning. So, and that's his routine. I know from living with Ryan when he comes here, the way what he eats and everything about him, then is commitment to racing, and then his knowledge of form, his knowledge of the other horses in the race. It's everything. Every angle is always covered. And listen, obviously he has an unbelievable, he's an unbelievable talent. He's very intelligent, and when you tell him things, he picks up on it very quick straight away, and he's able to carry out what you'd be hoping or you think might suit a horse, So, and he's able to change his mind if he has to as well. So, for us, he's the ultimate professional, and we'll feel privileged really to have him, Rachel.
Aidan, one last question, if I may ask you. I know trainers hate being asked this, but sorry, I'm going to have to ask you. Augusta Rodin and Little Big Bear, how would you compare them?
I suppose Little Big Bear is you're hoping that he's going to get a mile, and obviously you're hoping that he will get a mile. Where we think Augustin Rodin will get a mile on his ear and will go on further than that, obviously. But obviously, Little Big Bear, you're going to train him for the Guineas. Probably the two, I'd imagine the lads will say to train both for the Guineas, and both will probably go to the Guineas. Little Big Bear, there's a big chance that he will get it, and because he's big, scopy, he's relaxed, he's quick, and there's plenty of stamina on his dam side, where we know the other horse will get it, and then go on from there. I would imagine, obviously Ryan spends a lot of time here in the spring, and he'll be after riding the horses, and we'll be after discussing everything with everybody, and then a decision will be made probably, obviously, the few days before the Guineas. But I suppose there are two different types of horses. One could go back sprinting, would be a miler and probably won't get further. The other will get a mile on his ear and definitely go further. So I suppose that's the two horses in a nutshell, if that makes sense, Martin.
And Aidan, the lads in the gallery are laughing with he'll get a mile on his ear. I don't think they've heard that term too many times before.
No, listen, I suppose I mean that it'll be no problem to him. His dad won, I think, nearly 2 miles. Obviously, Rhododendron was just beaten in the Oaks by Enabled, and she was like a serious filly over 1.25 miles. So I suppose that's what made us so excited. That's what has made everyone so excited about this horse. Like from day one, what he was doing with horses that he shouldn't have been doing them with all the time. The class he was showing, I suppose, was making him very exceptional, really, we thought. And obviously the other horse, we always worked like a very good horse. Like the first day he got beat, we couldn't believe it, and we went home very quiet that evening.
I think we might even see it in the Commons soon. This horse will get a mile on its ear. We loved it. Aidan, thank you so much. You're an absolute gentleman, and you deserve all the success that you've achieved, and we wish you the very best of luck for the Breeders' Cup, and have a good time as well.
Yep, appreciate it, Rachel. Appreciate everyone. Thanks, boys. Thanks,
From all of us, thank you.
Thanks,
Aidan
Rachel.
O'Brien, absolute legend, joining us here on the Friday Club.